the dog. Okay, today we're going to do 30 minutes of bear holding the stone posture. That fits in with our overall paradigm of escalating step by step that I talked about before. If you've been following along so far, thanks very much for that. Hopefully people are finding the method usable. If you've been doing it for a few months following along with me, then bear holding the stone posture for 30 minutes should be entirely doable. So without further ado, we'll start in a minute. Follow along with me and I'll discuss some of the feelings that you might be feeling, that I'm feeling as we go along. Just warm up a little bit, less than a minute. Remember, like I've said, for the most part, it's about setting aside the time, and most people just can't. Even if they can do the posture physically, they can't set the time aside to do it. So if you can do half an hour, that's a good step. I'll watch the timer, you don't need to, that's what I'm doing now. Watching the timer. Okay, let's go. The first thing I feel straight away is that my legs don't normally have to use that kind of fine-tuned balancing that they do in standing. So it's like the responses of the leg muscles to my posture are too big right now, so I can just feel them settling down and just feeling like they want to overreact to balance me. So they've just got to settle down and get into that fine-tuned moment where I'm balancing on my bones. So I'm going to focus on that for a bit. So just then I did a couple of interesting things. One, my body kind of spasmed a little bit to the left, then pulled itself back into the posture, almost like a kind of spiral force farley, but a very natural incidence of that. And then I started getting some light flashes in my left eye, my lower left eye, kind of thing, I suppose. I don't suffer with migraines, but the kind of thing people with migraines describe. And it just went. And then my hips just slid to the right slightly then. My arms feel really happy like this, like they're in there they're in their natural posture. That's the feeling we want, initially anyway. My dog is at the door just staring at me. Why are you staring at me, love? He's doing his own standing. And he does do that sometimes. He'll just stand there when I'm standing. I think he thinks we're on guard or something. So if you close your eyes, it makes the fine-tuning of your balance that little bit more difficult. It's good practice. So I'm getting like a visual sensation, like I'm staring at a dot in the distance, like a tunnel that my eyes are looking down. I wonder if that's where like the concept of a third eye comes from in meditation or something like that. Imagine that's quite a common. I've certainly had that before. It's quite a common visualization with your eyes closed. Now I've said I can see an eye. My mind is creating the kind of shape of an eye as a visual image. That's interesting. Just feel a little bit of tension in my shoulders. It can be from lots of things. It can be from training. It can just be from daily tension, use of the body. It can be mental. So everyone knows that now. Mental stress can create physical tension, particularly in the shoulder areas. My heels feel painful. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on my heels. Feiyus don't give much heel support, and I've been training a lot, so it's just something to focus on. Don't ignore your pain. Focus on it, work through it. My breathing's getting deeper now, so a nice big deep breath to just enhance the transition. Now I'm getting a feeling, so I'm going to visualise holding a stone to really strengthen that feeling that there's something really heavy in my hands. There's another really good visualisation you can use that's nothing to do with physical feelings. It's just imagining that the great Yiquan masters of the past are stood in the room with you standing. And I like to visualise that. Oh, my buttock muscles just relaxed. They stopped resisting and just relaxed. Let go of the tension. I always talk about tension in our shoulders, but not so much in the backside. Little twitch on the right arm there. The thumb, right thumb, little finger on the left hand. A few twitches going on. So if you visualise holding a stone, and then you visualise on top of that stone is a ball, and you've got to balance that ball on the stone, so any little movements, it's particularly good if your eyes are closed because you move more. Your muscles are making those adjustments. And you've got to keep that ball balanced. And the idea is it just makes you much more finely aware of all those little micro movements you're making that you want to just try and stop. My breathing went even deeper then. It's just the increased oxygen use in the muscles, so visualising balancing that ball is really helping to control the unwanted micro movements. My knee almost over relaxed then. Halfway there. If you can get your hands really, really still, then you start experiencing a sensation where you're not entirely sure if they're still there. And that can lead on to some really interesting visualisations where you visualise moving them. And you're not entirely sure where they are. You can convince yourself that they're not where you left them. It's a little bit more advanced. I almost leant too far backwards then, and that does happen. I've done it many times where I've just fallen off the floor. When Wang Shengjai started, he used to lean back on his heels, and he talks about working out that you shouldn't do that. It gave him chest pains. Feel a little bit of tension in my bicep areas, up into the shoulder pit. Focus on that for a bit, try and relax it off. See how much of that tension is in the mind. And now I'm getting a really interesting sensation. Not a sensation, a really interesting effect that you might have. My mind is creating the image of my hands in my visual field. So you'd think I had my eyes partly open so that I could see my hands, but I don't. But I've got an image of them like a film negative type image. My mind has recreated that. That's interesting. That's happened before, but that's interesting. Not long to go. So now I'm getting two interesting sensations. One is feeling like insects are walking on the palms of my hands. And the other one is I'm tasting something bitter. Like on the end of my tongue, it feels like I'm tasting something bitter. That's quite interesting. I've never had that before. Now I'm getting a pulse feeling in the top of my arms, like it wants to make my arms contract involuntarily, like it wants to pull in. That's quite interesting. Okay, now I'm getting a really good feeling like I'm immensely heavy. Like I'm made of iron. I'm pressing into the earth so hard. Could almost just break through the floor and fall through. That's good, I'm just going to focus on that for a minute. Getting some psychedelic visuals going on as well, some psychedelic ants walking across my visual field. And we fell backwards again then. Less than a minute. Stick with me. You're doing fantastic. Even if you had to have a break, you're doing fantastic. If you didn't, that's amazing. If this is the first time you've done half an hour, just stick with it. Less than a minute, less than 30 seconds. I've got the time. Remember, when we relax, don't just do it fast, just very slowly. You can hurt yourselves because your arms lock into these positions. Even if you're very relaxed, you shouldn't just put your arms down fast. Very slow. Almost there. That's it. Arms down slow. Slowly, slowly. Don't hurt your biceps, you can do. You can hurt your biceps. Breathe in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Did you find it hard to lift your arms then? That's another thing that you can feel. Again. One more time. Okay, good move. Move out the position. keep young and beautiful. Just thanks. If you've done half an hour, that's the first time you've done half an hour of any zhuang. Well done. That's an amazing achievement. We're pushing forward now. After half an hour, you can't say they get easier, but your resilience and your ability to do it. And I see sometimes people saying like, wow, you've got amazing discipline, and to other people who are doing longer periods, and I think, well, yeah, okay, but the discipline is in building up to it. Like, if you build up to it, it's not harsh to do. So that's the key, as I've always talked about, just building up gradually, just loosen off. Discipline will be if it really did feel like really painful and really hard. But that's just stress positioning. That's not the same thing at all. Just loosen off. But building up to it slowly, step by step, you can do it. That's what takes discipline. Okay, well done. That's it. Thanks for doing it along with me. Keep standing, and I'll see you over in the next video. Thanks, people. One love.